Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. I know we're super famous. You all know our names, so let's get into this. What is your reaction to Michigan's 69-57 beatdown on a clearly undersized team, a team that shouldn't have been there? What are your reactions to this?
Well, I'd like to look at the tournament as a whole. What a run this has been for this team. This is a team that lost to Northwestern a couple months ago, and they have not lost since. They won the Big Ten, and they're going to the national championship game. They have a point guard who's out of control, a senior at guard who's efficient, an undersized center, and a transfer forward. But they've been able to get here because of the fight in this team and the Hall of Fame coach they have.
Okay. Do you people want to say something?
I don't care.
Okay. Well,
They should have won that game. That's not. I don't know why we're surprised.
They haven't played a top 5 seed in the tournament. You play who's in front of you. You play who's in front of you.
well,
If that was the case, why isn't Vermont in the tournament, Chris? What? Excuse me? They have a better record than Syracuse. They just played who was in front of them. They should be in the tournament. America East. Move to stupid. Okay, there you go. So it does matter. It does matter who you play. Okay, so if they had beaten UMBC, they would have been in the tournament, but they didn't. No, but they have a better record than Syracuse, and they just played who they played. How can they do it? It's on their schedule, Chris. And Vermont plays in one of the worst conferences in all of college basketball.
no, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
You don't know anything.
No.
They just beat the number 1 seed in the tournament. UMBC did. I mean, Vermont should have definitely been in the tournament. I mean, I don't know how this is a conversation.
I'd like to go back to the Michigan discussion. I don't know how you guys are talking about. By the way, I'd like to first start by saying I think it was our first or second podcast, and this is a direct quote from me.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it.
A seed higher than them until the national championship. And by the way, I also picked 3 out of the 4 Final Four and got the championship game right. Just like to point that out.
All right, well, you can see Sister Jean is the picture there, and she definitely cost Loyola the game. I don't know what her problem is, because all she does is take the attention away from a team that got no attention. And that is why they lost, because she got too much attention. And everybody picked Loyola. Now, the argument that Michigan hasn't played anybody better than the 5 seed, well, that you can't say that's not invalid, because they're the first team in the history of the tournament that hasn't played a team in the top 5 to get to the national championship game. So I'm not gonna say that it was the main reason, but it was one of the reasons.
Let's also remember that just before that, they beat Michigan State and Purdue. And I guess we'll see who the real best team in the country is when they play Villanova on Monday night.
Well, Purdue is better than Michigan. It's not even close.
That's the title game, and Purdue got knocked out in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, they also played a seed. They also played a 3 seed. Michigan hasn't played a 3 seed or a 2 seed yet. So.
Who is it? Or a 4 seed.
Also lost
Who was in front of you? We take
they lost
one more game. Mike, if we win the national championship, I can't even imagine what your reaction will be. It's going to be fantastic if we win.
Nope.
And we have one more game until we're proud kids.
Nope. I'm not going to have any reaction after that. Because Michigan should win. They should be the favorites, and they should win it by a couple of touchdowns.
Okay. A couple touchdowns?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't be winning anything by touchdowns, apparently, in the near future. That's right, because their football team sucks. Yeah, we do right now. We just fired Jim Harbaugh.
Well, all right. I think we've hit this topic pretty well. Let's move on. So, pictured in front of you are the three coaches of our favorite teams, Mr. Tom Izzo, Holtman, and Beeline. What order would you put these three coaches in?
Beeline, Izzo, Holtman.
Mike, as of like this year or like
As of right now, who would you want coaching your team in the order?
It depends, because some are regular season coaches, some are playoff coaches.
Well, then who would you rather have as a
Beeline,
coach?
Izzo, Holtman.
I like Chris's order.
Luca,
I'm taking Holtman, and then I'm taking Izzo and Beeline. Oh my God!
I'm shocked you didn't have Thad Matta in there.
He wasn't an option.
No, you could have put him in there.
This guy's been in the Final Four 4 out of the last 6 years, goes to Sweet 16, and you put Chris Holtman ahead of him. Chris Holtman.
He's not been in four of the 6 Final Fours. What are you talking about?
I said 4 of the 6 Sweet 16s and 2 of the 6 Final Fours.
No, you
Chris,
didn't.
We're talking about right now. Chris Holtman is a young guy. He relates to players. Look what he did with a squad that was under 500 the year. Okay, yep, that's great. Look what John Beeline did with his squad. It was supposed to be a fringe tournament team. We were picked 11th in the Big Ten. I don't care. You lost the second round. We're the national championship team. Chris, right now, who would you want? Holtman. John Beeline. Big Ten. He's the Big Ten coach of the year, which means he's a better coach than everybody else in the Big Ten. No, it doesn't. It means he's the best job in the regular season. Okay, so he's the best coach. It means he's the best coach. Best coach. That's a church. That's insane.
Okay.
Best coach.
Well, that's why I asked, playoff coach or regular season coach?
Well, what order would I put these coaches in? Number 1, I'd put Chris Holtman. Chris Holtman is what he did with this team it's unbelievable. This team lost to Rutgers in the Big Ten tournament last year.
They choked against Gonzaga. That wasn't a choke.
Did Michigan lose to Rutgers in the Big Ten tournament last year? I don't think they did. And Chris Holtman took over this team from nothing. They had nobody. They were supposed to finish the bottom 2/3 of the league, and he brought them to second place.
That's very true.
Yeah, he was number 2, right?
He should have been coach of the year.
Number 2, I'm going to put Beeline number 2, and I'm going to put Izzo number 3 on the list.
Mike, would you like to further your Fire Tom Izzo campaign?
Yes, I think Izzo needs to go. This isn't the 1980s. Playing 3 centers isn't going to fucking work. Excuse my fucking language. I'm pissed off. All right, because let me tell you something. When you have Nick Ward in there, a 6'8" center, and then you put in Jared Jackson, who's a center, but he plays power forward, all right, that's not going to work now. It's not going to work. It hasn't worked. It clearly didn't work. And then what does he try to do? He has his 5-star center on the bench in the tournament game for a 6th-year senior transfer from UNLV who can pass the ball a little bit. Are you kidding me? And then this guy, he can't recruit those little shifty guards. He has to go for those guards that are big and that can have the slowest shots you've ever seen. Cassius Winston. I love Cassius Winston. But my goodness, is his shot slow. And his offense, my goodness. Did I say anything about his offense? His offense is so 1980s. His defense, they're hedging on ball screens. What are you doing? You're letting wide open guys roll to the basket. Are you joking me? And this guy, what is he, like 3-20-something against Boeheim, Coach K, and Roy Williams? It's a joke. He needs to go. He needs to go back to Northern Michigan and learn how to coach.
And it's really embarrassing because Michigan, who's a football school, Michigan State a basketball school, and Michigan's really been dominant over the past few years.
Michigan State is a football school.
That is not true.
Michigan State is a football school.
Oh, God.
No, we fill up that stadium every game. Don't.
Yeah, you fill up Breslin every game, too.
So? All of those are fake fans.
No, it's a basketball school.
All they did was their cheer on their team, and they were getting destroyed by Michigan. It was an embarrassment. The crowd was embarrassing. And when Mo Wagner was fucking taking a crap on the floor, they should have been throwing stuff on the floor. That's what normal fans would have done.
All right, calm down.
All right, I think we got this topic pretty well. Let's move on. What are your top 5 college basketball coaches right now?
And wait, is this in order or just in general?
You want to go from 1 to 5 or 5 to 1? What do you want to do?
Should we do options first? Start with honorable mentions, yeah.
Yeah. Do honorable mentions first.
Yeah, all right. I have 3 honorable mentions. Number 1, my honorable mention, Mark Few of Gonzaga. He's done a great job with the program. He just did not win a championship. Number 2 is Matt Painter from Purdue. And number 3 is John Becker from Vermont.
Oh my god.
He's always in contention in the American East. Great conference. Great coach.
Alex, what's your honorable mention? Do you have any?
I got Painter from Purdue, and I got Chris Beard from Texas Tech.
Okay.
All right, I have 6 honorable mentions. Jesus Christ. Chris Holtman from Ohio State, Bob Huggins from West Virginia, Mark Few from Gonzaga, Jim Boeheim, Syracuse, Tom Izzo from Michigan State, and Ed Cooley from Providence.
Shocker there. What a shocker. All right.
Speaking of which, I forgot one. I got Greg Marshall. That was my 3rd one.
Oh.
Greg Marshall. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to say my criteria before I start this. My criteria is, with the amount of recruits you get, how far do you get based on the amount of recruits you have? So that's why Bill Self is one of my honorable mentions. So is Rick Pitino. He is a free agent, but he is still one of my honorable mentions. John Beilein is one of my honorable mentions. Jim Boeheim, Scott Drew of Baylor, Mike White, and Dan Hurley. Those are my honorable mentions.
Who was the first one you said again?
The first one?
Bill Self?
Bill Self.
Does anybody here have him in the top 5? I don't even have him in my honorable mentions or top 5. I have him in the top 5. Yeah, he's definitely in my top 5.
All right. Are we doing this top 5 from worst to best, best to worst, or just?
Well, let's do 5 to 1.
All right, go ahead, Chris. I want to hear this.
All right, so number 5, I have John Calipari of Kentucky.
That's a joke.
That's 4. That is 4. I have Roy Williams of North Carolina.
You cannot believe you have him this low. That's a joke.
Number 3, I have John Beilein of Michigan. Number 2, I have Jay Wright of Villanova. And obviously number 1 is Coach K.
Okay. Who's next?
Coach K. That's unbelievable. You have Coach K number 1.
So, do you want to react to what Chris said, or should we move on?
Also, I think Steve Tinkle is being very overlooked right now.
Who?
Guy from Rutgers.
Oh. Well, obviously, but he's only been there 2 years, so.
Yeah, he's got time.
Now, if he was still at Stony Brook, then maybe I'd put him in there. Which is another America East school, by the way.
Yeah, and guess who beat them every single year? John Becker in Vermont. Just proves that he should be honorable mention.
All right, who's next?
I have number 5, Bob Huggins, West Virginia.
That's a good pick.
Number Number 4, Jay Wright, Villanova. Too low, way too low. Number 3, Coach K. Oh my God. Number 2, Bill Self. And number 1, Bill Self over Coach K. Yeah, Coach K's garbage. A good coach does not lose to Lehigh.
And Mercer.
And Mercer. And number 1, who is far and beyond the best coach in the nation.
Oh, God.
John Calipari.
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! What a joke!
Everywhere he goes brings success.
What a joke!
No.
Everywhere he goes, success.
Oh my goodness! What a joke!
Did you mention in there? What? Was Chris Holman even mentioned in there? No. He doesn't have enough time as a coach. He just doesn't have enough time. He needs more achievement, accomplishments. Okay. Coach McBucket from Creighton should also be an honorable mention.
No.
Oh, no.
He was average in a mediocre conference. No, thank you.
UMass, success. Memphis, success. Kentucky, success.
Yeah, New Jersey Nets. What a success that was.
He coached the Dominican Republic national basketball team. Success.
Alex, what's your list?
Let him find bronze medal in FIBA.
Oh, God. I got, who did I have? I had Izzo at number 5.
Oh my God. Over.
Yeah, I did, Kristen. I don't care.
Did you have him over Beeline?
Yeah, I do.
Why? You just said you'd rather have Beeline.
Yeah, this year I would.
5 minutes ago.
This year I would.
Not close. Not even remotely close.
Yeah, it is, but okay. Number 4, I think Michael will like this one. I had Mark Few. Number 3, I had Coach K.
Oh my gosh.
Number 2, I had Will Williams. And number 1, I had Jay Wright.
That's a fair list.
No Calipari. Right? That's outrageous.
What?
The Calipari or Beeline, were either of them in your honorable mention?
Trying to think. I don't believe so.
You don't have John? Okay.
I might have. I can't remember.
Calipari is the best coach in the nation by far. And the fact that you don't have him on your list or honorable mention, it should be a crime against humanity. It's blasphemous.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. Number 5, I have Bob Huggins of West Virginia. I like that pick there. He never gets good recruits, and he still wins every year. West Virginia is so bad, Beeline left West Virginia. That's how bad they were. Number 4, I have Coach K.
Are you guys kidding me? No respect for Coach K.
Nope.
Coach K
No. Coach K gets the best recruits every year, and he can't do anything with them. He hasn't done anything. He had Seth Curry. They lost to Lehigh. Then they lost to Mercer. Yes, they won a national championship. Okay, fine.
That's unbelievable the disrespect you guys give.
Then they lost to the Mafia member last year. I mean, they've choked a lot lately.
All right, fair enough. Keep going.
Mark Few, number 3.
Over Coach K, okay.
Yep, Mark Few's a better basketball coach right now.
Has 0 titles, 0, and Coach K has 5.
I told you. Whatever I told you, it's based off of what you do with the amount of talent you get. It means Mark Few's definitely in there. No doubt about it.
Just finish.
Jay Wright, number 2. And Roy Williams, number 1.
Number 1?
Number 1?
That's right. Roy Williams, all he does is win. He doesn't get the Mike Krzyzewski recruits, but he still wins more than Coach K.
Just like when they got blown by Texas A&M.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't lose to Mercer, so I don't want to hear about that. Okay.
All right, now we can all scream and yell at each other.
Yeah, okay. Chris, I think your list is a disgrace. You don't know anything about college basketball. That's a joke. John Calipari gets the best recruits, and he doesn't do anything with them. He single-handedly choked that national championship game away to UConn. He single-handedly choked that game away. Kevin Ollie, of all coaches, out-coached him that day.
Mike, there's a lot about him, but that school is the epitome of one-and-done players.
One-and-dones. I don't care if they're one-and-dones. They're the most talented players, and he can't win with the most talented players.
NBA players out of any college coach. And the only reason he's down at 5 is because the past few years of his lack of tournament success. But he has one-and-done players, and he produces good, and he produces.
I don't care about NBA players. Did I say that was part of my, what's it called? If it was, then Gonzaga wouldn't even be close to here. I don't know what you're talking about. Besides Kelly Olynyk, he's the GOAT, but I don't want to.
He recruits 12 players every year. They leave after a year. He gets 12 new players in. How do you turnover rate is so high on Calipari? It's amazing that he has success.
Yeah, well, Rick Pitino's a better coach. I tell you, if Rick Pitino was coaching right now, I'd pick him over John Calipari. It's not even close.
That's outrageous. That's insane.
Oh my goodness.
All Rick Pitino does is win. I don't care if he cheats. I don't care if he gets prostitutes. Listen, winning is winning. It doesn't matter how it goes.
How can you justify that? They had a team with Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, Tyler Eulis, 10 guys who went to the NBA and they didn't even win.
Yep. Bo Ryan completely outcoached Coach K. Not Coach John Calipari that day.
They got outplayed by Frank Kaminsky.
Okay, let's not act like that Wisconsin team wasn't bad. That was one of the greatest college teams of all time. They just happened to play in a tough year.
That is absurd.
No, Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker, all those white guys. It was first team all white people, and they almost won the national championship.
Oh my goodness. Chris, who else was on your list?
After Calipari, I had Roy Williams at 4, John Beeline, Jay Wright, and Coach Ken.
I cannot believe you have Roy Williams below those guys. That's absurd.
No, it's not. At all.
He had nobody last year. Last year he had nobody, and he won the national championship. He won it with nobody. Joe Barry is not even very good. He's overrated.
I can't even engage in a conversation with that. Is the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
Oh, Justin! What do you have, Justin Jackson? Oh, and the year before he had Marcus Page. I don't want to hear about that either. He beats Duke. He beats Duke every year with less recruits.
Yeah, he does. But doesn't matter. Coach K has more all-time championships. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because he's been coaching for 150 years.
Well, Roy Williams had his shot. He was at Maryland. He didn't get.
All right, Roy's got 3. Don't act like Roy Williams is below Krzyzewski. I mean, he's not that much below him. Coach K's got 5. He's got 3.
Yeah, I think my top 5 have separated themselves from everybody else. I really don't think it's close. My top 5 is everybody else.
That's absurd.
I think you're crazy.
Yeah, that list sucks.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
Hold on. I want to talk about John Beeline for a second. How could you guys deny that he's in the top 5? How could you say he's not in the top 5 when he doesn't get any recruits any year? He's been
Bob Huggins gets less recruits than he does.
He's been how many championships does he have? Well, we'll see on Monday. He's been in 2 of the last 6 championship games, and you guys don't have him in the top 5.
No, because I remember 3 or 4 years ago, he went 8-10 and 10-8 in the Big Ten. That's not good enough to be on my list.
You know, the only thing he's won is the NIT. Actually, 2007, he won the NIT. That's it. Let's calm down.
And he was with West Virginia, right?
He makes the tournament every year with no recruits. He didn't even win it with Michigan. He won it with West Virginia.
No, listen. He couldn't even make he couldn't even make the tournament with West Virginia, and now Bob Huggins gets to the Sweet 16 every year. So Bob Huggins is clearly a better coach.
I'm talking about Michigan. I'm telling you, Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman was the 459th recruit in his class, and he's our second best player on a national championship contending team.
So everybody gets those type of players. What was Luke May when Luke May was freaking, what was he? A walk-on. He was a walk-on, and he's their best player. What are you talking about? Your facts are wrong.
Rockbot would have been a walk-on at Carolina.
Well, Luke May was a walk-on, and he's the best player on the team.
No, he's not. Joel Berry's the best player on the team.
No, he's not. Luke May's the best player on the team. Joel Berry disappeared against Michigan State earlier this year.
Since Beeline has been at Michigan, he has missed the tournament 3 times. Yep, that's great. And every year since 2013, he's been in the tournament. That's what I'm talking about. Top 5 coaches don't miss tournaments.
Oh, it took a buzzer beater against Indiana to get in. Don't act like they were friggin' amazing.
He was tied. They could have gotten overtime. Great in the same amount of time, Roy Williams has missed it once. So let me put something in perspective for you. The guy who hit that buzzer beater, by the way, Mike, Cam Chapman, that team was so undermanned, and they barely got to the tournament.
Well, no excuses. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear excuses.
You destroyed Mercy to play.
The truth is, Beeline has good 3-year stretches and then bad 2-year stretches after them. That's just how it works.
That's just not true. You know who made the tournament 4 times and was a 2-time runner-up?
Vermont?
Brad Stevens.
Yeah, Brett, listen.
Brad Stevens is not coaching in college right now.
If you told me I could take any coach in basketball and start him with my program, I'd put Brad Stevens. I'd pick him over everybody.
No doubt. Brad Stevens, 100% I agree.
All right, I disagree with you because I don't like agreeing with you.
I'm surprised you didn't complain about Mark Few being on this list.
Mark Few is my honorable mention. I've already gotten too many arguments with you about him.
Yeah, you've been wrong every time.
Oh,
been right every time.
And by the way, Tony Bennett could be on there. He's the coach of the year. With Luke's logic, he's the coach of the year, which means he should be number 1.
He's the worst coach I've ever seen in my life. Mark
Listen,
Hughes never missed the NCAA tournament.
Virginia doesn't get any. Hey, Virginia doesn't get any recruits, and they still.
He can win his conference every year. He plays in a horrible conference.
Listen, I know Tony Bennett is a terrible coach. His offense is 1940s, so.
Guys, see, you can't. When you look up Tony Bennett on the internet and you click on his Wikipedia page, it's not even the right Tony Bennett.
I know.
How can you be the number 1 coach if you're not even the number 1 person by your name?
Okay, I think we've hit this topic well enough. Let's move on.
Wait. Did you have the Providence coach on your honorable mention?
Yes, I did. That's a great job.
What a joke! What a joke!
Plays in a great conference, always compete.
Oh my God!
The program.
It's a disgrace that you have Ed Cooley on there, but you don't have Scott Drew on there. Scott Drew is the most underrated coach in the country.
Actually, Ed Cooley would. John Beeline takes that.
Scott Drew. Nobody talks about Scott Drew. He's made the tournament. He did make the tournament 10 straight years. He didn't make it this year, and he had the number 1 team in the country last year at Baylor. Baylor has no tradition at all. Scott Drew is an honorable mention over what's his name, that guy from Providence who hasn't done anything.
Great coach.
He hasn't done anything in the tournament.
Yeah, well, Providence is not a historic, great program.
I'm sorry.
Any recruit.
He had Chris Dunn and couldn't do anything.
He had Chris Dunn, he had nothing around him.
Yeah, he had Ben Teal. There's a draft.
All right, let's move on. All right, let's talk about some possible players going to the NBA. Bates Diop and Miles Bridges have already declared for the draft. Nick Ward has declared, but he could come back by May 30th, which I suspect he will, because although he is projected to be a mid-second round pick, he'd be a G League player the first couple of years, so there's no doubt about it. Jaren Jackson hasn't declared yet. There's even people saying Jordan Poole could declare, so...
Stop. Just stop.
No, I saw an article on the Detroit whatever news that said Jordan Poole is 50-50.
No, you didn't. You're lying.
No, I'm serious.
No, you're not being serious.
No, I am being serious. I saw it.
No, you're not. Jordan Poole, oh my God.
I'm serious. I saw an article on it.
I just want to point out the sleeper of the draft, he's already declared and has signed with an agent. It's LiAngelo Ball. LiAngelo Ball, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's been playing over in Lithuania. And he's been balling. Absolutely balling.
Yeah, what did he drop? 72 the other night?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Like Chinese 14-year-old, like B-level team?
All the kids he's playing against look like they're 4 years old, but that's beside the point.
I believe Kader Bates Diop will be the Kyle Kuzma of next year. He will immediately make an impact wherever he goes. I believe Miles Bridges will be one of the biggest busts you've ever seen.
I also agree with that.
And they're saying Jaren Jackson's a 50-50 to either leave or come back. If he comes back, then there's no excuses.
Great play.
National championship or bust. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about anything. If he comes back, they better win the national championship next year.
Nick Ward, he'll probably come back, but I know he's for Mo Wagner to handle for one more year. I think Wagner's going to stay. What do you guys think? No.
Yeah, he will.
Well,
Why go now?
they were saying Nick Ward will be drafted before Mo Wagner, so that's a fact.
Yeah, because he's bigger than him.
No, what are you talking about? Nick Ward's a 6'8" center with no.
I'm not talking about height. I am not talking about height. Strength.
Well, just say he's fatter.
I'm-
Him and that guy from Ohio State, the big fat ass, so it's the same.
The only person from Michigan that will be going. Don't make fun of him. Don't make fun of him.
Who is it, Luke?
I forget his name. Shit. He has a brother on the team, too. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, they both suck.
Oh,
Who are you talking about?
seriously. Oh, the fat guy from Ohio State.
Wesson?
Weston. Caleb Weston.
Listen, I believe Nick Ward will be. I believe Nick Ward can be Greg Monroe at the next level.
He's 6'9", 270. He's not big enough to be Greg Monroe.
Listen, he is an elite rebounder. I know he can't shoot to save his life, but he did go one for one from three this year. So.
Bad.
Yeah, Aaron Baines hit 2 threes last night. What's your point?
Is Aaron Baines, did he go 100% on the season from three?
Yes.
No. BS.
Aaron? Yeah, he has.
No, he's taking more threes this year.
Oh.
No, he hasn't taken a 3 in 2 years. I've seen him take like 5 corner threes this year. No, never.
Well, he's filthy, so it's okay.
Remember,
he missed one against the Trailblazers.
I mean, he's not as good as Amir Johnson. Amir Johnson, one of the best three-point shooters in the league.
Oh my! I hate Amir Johnson.
Didn't he shoot like 46% from back there last year?
No, that never happened.
No, he was nasty. Every time he got the ball, I was yelling for him to shoot it because he's nasty and he just wouldn't shoot it. I don't understand.
All right, whatever. Next topic. What's the next topic?
Fine. The next topic is what is your predictions for the national championship game?
Villanova 99, Michigan 1. I think Villanova will cruise to an easy win.
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
If Villanova shoots 80% from three again, we're not going to win.
They do every single game. You'll be like, this will be you guys. You guys will be watching the game. You'll be down like 8. You'll be like, all right, if we can get a stop, we can put a run together. Villanova hit a 3. Okay, just need one stop and we can get this thing going. Another Villanova 3. Be like, all right, if we can get a stop, we're holding them to a bucket and then get a 3, we can make a comeback. Oh, Villanova hits another 3. All they do is hit 3s. They don't miss. They're the best team in the nation.
All right, well, for me, Villanova, I agree with you. They're the best team in the nation. This is going to come down to one thing. I know everybody's talking about Michigan's defense and how good it is, but whoever shoots the ball better from 3 is going to win this game.
Really?
If Michigan plays the way they did against Texas,
Really?
if
You
Michigan
have 2 3-point shooting teams. Of course it is.
If
That's
Michigan,
like saying whoever puts the ball in the bucket more is going to win.
if Villanova plays like they did last night, they'll win. If Michigan plays like they did against Texas A&M, they will win. I expect a close game, maybe overtime, 76-73 Michigan.
Oh, really? If Michigan scores more points than Villanova, they'll beat them. If Villanova scores more points than Michigan, they'll win.
90%, it'll be a close game.
I know that's a hot take, but I do think the winner of the game will put the ball in the basket just a bit more than the other team. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think I'm right. Listen, the point is, your score is way too low, by the way. If it went to overtime, the score would be like 100-97. So you don't know anything about basketball, first of all.
Michigan defense will be able to hold Nova to somewhat poor shooting for their standards. And Michigan will be able to make enough shots to force overtime. Perhaps be close to the end. Close win. That's my take.
I like comparing Michigan to Texas Tech because they are very similar teams. Villanova did play Texas Tech earlier this year, and they destroyed them. And I expect the same thing to happen here. I like Villanova winning this game, like 85-62. Good run for Michigan, but they actually are going to play a team that's higher than them in the seeding, and they're going to lose.
Yep, Mike's spot on.
Okay. Is that it? Is that all you're gonna take that?
I'm not gonna be able to argue with you. I've already made my point. You guys are not gonna agree with me because you're just so salty that your team's lost. You won't even begin to think about picking Michigan.
Alex argues with you, and he agrees with, and he has the same team as you.
See? What? See? Chris, again, all you think about is Ohio State and Michigan State.
I told you guys are so mad that you guys lost and choked that you will refuse to pick Michigan or even pick to be a close game, and that's why I think you guys are picking.
Hey, I picked Michigan against Loyola. No, I picked Michigan against Loyola.
We're picked to finish 11th in the country. What? How can I be mad that we lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament to Gonzaga, who was higher ranked than us, when everyone picked us to finish 11th in the Big Ten? How can I be mad at this season?
Yeah, that is a great point. That is a great point.
Don't hide it. Don't hide it.
Listen.
Chris, I think I'm going to have to rent space in your head. Because I am living there all day long right now.
I want to go back to the draft talk for just a second because I think Andrew Dockich can be T.J. McConnell in the NBA. I think they are very similar players.
Now the question is, when they introduce them, are they going to say out of Michigan or out of Ohio State?
He could pull a Russell Wilson and say he went to both schools. All right.
Beeline made it. Chris Holtman.
No, if Beeline had Dockich, I'd be taking Michigan right now.
Yeah, I bet you would.
No, I would be. No doubt about it.
Well, Mike, they wouldn't actually. You wouldn't be taking him because you wouldn't know about Dockich because Beeline didn't know who his good players were on his bench. He never played them.
That is a great point. Also proves why Chris Holtman's a better coach than.
Okay.
All right, let's all calm down here.
Holtman can identify talent a lot better. All right, is that it for this topic? Are we done?
Yeah,
All right, that is gonna be it for
follow us on Instagram.
this episode. Yeah, sure. Follow on Instagram at Big4 Podcast. Thank you everybody for watching. We would probably so thank you for watching.